So Parle Moi De Parfum has a really popular fragrance called Milky Musk 39, this one right here. Are you familiar with this fragrance? It's a super cozy sandalwoody fragrance with fig milk, so it has a very milky, creamy, lactonic consistency, and when you're wearing it, it makes for a very cozy wear. But they now have a new fragrance that's sort of similar to me. It's called COMETE PARADIS 62, this one right here. Also utilizing sandalwood, but this time with coconut and cacao. Goes into a bit of a more gourmand direction. So today, I'm going to review COMETE PARADIS 62 for you, compared to Milky Musk 39. How do they compare? How are they different? How are they similar? And also do a top 7 list of my favorite Parle Moi De Parfum fragrances. So find out all about these fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. We're talking about COMETE PARADIS 62 today from the house of Parle Moi De Parfum. Are you guys familiar with this house? I do have a few videos on the channel of this house. Go catch those videos. In fact, I also featured Wake Up World with the infinity sign here in a recent Scent Club kit. We have a few more of those kits left if you're in the market to discover this and a few other fragrances. But today it's all about COMETE PARADIS 62, which is selling over at Lucky Scent. I have a link in the info box. There is a discount code there as well. Go find out about this, Milky Musk, and also the other fragrances that I'm going to talk to you about here in a little bit. So this is COMETE PARADIS 62, created by Michel Almairac. If you're not familiar with this house, the brand is started by Michel Almairac's son Benjamin. And this particular fragrance is co-creation between Michel, Benjamin, and also his brother Romain. So it's 100 ml for $2.35, Eau de Parfum concentration. I would call this a woody amber fragrance, and basically that's what it wears like, but very milky, featuring notes of sandalwood, coconut, cacao, musk, tonka beans. When I wear this fragrance, it takes me back to my childhood when I was obsessed with chocolate milk. I don't know what it is. Because it's a really creamy, milky, lactonic, woody fragrance, and the idea of coconut milk comes in, but coconut milk with chocolate, that chocolate that's you used to put as a kid in milk and, you know, stir it up and drink it. That's the consistency of this fragrance, in that it's very, very creamy, lactonic, and also cozy. Because for me, milky products are always very comforting and cozy and relaxing and soothing. So this fragrance wears just like that for me. So it is very woody in the end, and it's not like an uber gourmand. The fragrance, gourmand notes, I should say, coconut and cacao, are blended in a way that really comes smooth against the sandalwood, but they don't jump out. This is not a chocolatey cacao fragrance. It's not a coconutty, loud coconut beachy kind of a fragrance. It's just a right amount of coconut, right amount of cacao to add to the smoothness of the sandalwood. But you also have some musk, some tonka in here. The tonka creates that kind of bitter almondy effect. The musk provides musk. It's really, really ultra cozy. And that's what I like about it. It's definitely for those folks that like woody fragrances, because it wears very woody for sure. But the coconut and the cacao provides that kind of milky lactonic effect with the kind of chocolatey smoothness here. Really wonderful offering. And again, it's very similar to Milky Musk 39, but it's not, you know? When you smell them away from one another, you might be reminded of the sandalwood reminding you of Milky Musk if you're familiar with that fragrance. But when you're putting them side by side, they're really, really different, except for the sandalwood. And that sandalwood is what kind of like connects the two fragrances together. They're very, very similar with the sandalwood. It's kind of a similar sandalwood to me. But again, what makes it different is coconut and cacao in COMETE PARADIS 62. With Milky Musk, it's more about the figs. And for me, it says figs. It's it's not necessarily fruity. It's more about the fig milk for me here. And it doesn't even have a very green smell, because fig leaves are green. So for me, it's more about the milk to give you that kind of earthy green, light greenness of the fig. And then less of the fruits, if there's any fruits in here, because there's not much fruits in here. But this original Milk Musk is very, very smooth once again. It has a bit of sweetness, and I feel like there's a bit of vanillic touch in there as well to give you really nice, cozy fragrance. But if you want a little more interesting things happening in that kind of a similar fragrance, then COMETE PARADIS 62 does that with the coconut, the cacao, the musk, and the tonka beans. Both of the fragrances do wear very smooth and cozy, but I feel like both of the fragrances are also all year round fragrances, because there's nothing really loud and obnoxious in these two fragrances that would, you know, make for, like, let's say, more of a summer appropriate fragrance or a winter appropriate fragrance. I feel like both of the fragrances are really nicely balanced, where you can use them day in and day out every day of the year, because they're not loud in one specific way or kind of a, you know, weak in another way kind of a thing. It's just a really nice, cozy, comforting, woody fragrance. And those of you that really enjoy sandalwood and fragrances definitely should check out both Comete Paradis 62 and Milky Musk 39. Again, there's a discount code in the info box. Go catch that. Go visit Lucky Scent and study the fragrances of this house. If you're into Michel Almairac's fragrances, I think this is a great line for you to check out, because he does all the fragrances of this house. And of course, it's started by the son of Michel Almairac, who's been, you know, making fragrances for many, many years, going back to fragrances like Fahrenheit by Dior and things like that. So yeah, there's definitely a DNA running throughout the collection of fragrances from Parle Moi De Parfum. Do let me know if you're a fan of this house. Are you aware that it is, you know, created by the son of Michel Almairac, and he's the perfumer behind the fragrances? Do let me know. Put a comment down. And also let me know if you've gotten your nose on Comete Paradis 62. If you have a favorite Parle Moi De Parfum fragrance, do let me know that as well. We recently featured this fragrance, Wake Up World with the Infinity sign, in one of my Scent Club kits, number 5. And that kit, we still have maybe like 5 to 10 kits available. So those of you that are in the market and you're curious to discover this, you can go catch the kit as well. But let's go ahead and do a ranked list of 7 of the Parle Moi De Parfum fragrances. I've got 7 here to talk to you about. The first fragrance at number 7, we're talking about Papyrus Oud 71, this one right here. So Papyrus Oud 71, if you get your nose on it, you're going to be reminded of Gucci Pour Homme 1. Those of you that are fans of that fragrance, it's got a cult following. It's been discontinued for over 10 years, I think. And people are really, really obsessed with it and finding bottles of it. Both of the fragrances are created by Michel Almairac, and it's a given that he's created something here that, you know, is reminiscent of Gucci Pour Homme 1. I feel like this is definitely a much more robust version of that fragrance. I've gotten my nose on it, but I've also, you know, been enjoying this one, and I've put it here at the bottom. And it's the kind of fragrance that I like a little sweetness in my fragrances, and there's not much in this, so it's a given that it's at the bottom. But some of you that like these kind of colder, woody fragrances might really enjoy something like this. It's featuring Papyrus, Incense, Patchouli, Oud, Musk. There's some chocolate and a little bit of ginger, so it's a very woody, spicy fragrance with aromatics and powdery touches and earthy touches and leather, a little bit leather for sure. And then also there's that chocolate that gives you a little bit of sweetness. But for me, this is not a very sweet fragrance, if at all. But again, if you're a fan of Gucci Pour Homme 1 and you're looking for something that will replace that, definitely check out Papyrus Oud 71. The next fragrance at number 6, we're talking about Woody Perfecto /107, this one right here. So this is a vetiver leather coffee fragrance. It's very aromatic, it's very woody, earthy. For sure, it's leathery as well, and there's some spicy elements. I feel like the coffee is there to give it some kind of sweetness and earthiness to the fragrance, but in the end, it's very grassy, woody, earthy with the vetiver, and leathery, a bit animalic with the leather note that's in here to create a kind of a contrast between the leather and the vetiver. And what balances out the fragrance is the coffee that's in here. So it's uber spicy. There are some ambery elements here for sure. The leather is very prominent, and of course the vetiver also is pretty prominent. So you've got the kind of trademark smell of the vetiver that's in here. Again, it goes a bit earthy. The grassiness does show up, but it's very, very woody. And then of course there is some kind of dampness in there associated with the vetiver as well, because, you know, earthiness and everything. You know, it's definitely a little better enjoyable to wear than Papyrus Oud. It's not as dark as Papyrus Oud, but once again, there might be some similarities and overlap notes between the two, because I find Papyrus and Vetiver to have somewhat similarities, and so you might find similarities between Papyrus Oud 71 and Woody Perfecto 107, which here is at number 6. The next one at number 5, it's GUIMAUVE de NOEL 31, this one right here. Super sweet, delicious candy, orange blossom, vanilla fragrance that is kind of reminiscent of something like Love Don't Be Shy. This is a popular style that I really enjoy. I think this is inspired by a French delicacy that's consumed during the holidays. I'm assuming that's what it is. And it's a great combination because also in the Middle East where I grew up, we really do consume a lot of orange blossomy sweets and desserts and things like that. So it's a given I like this particular style. I've been a fan of Love Don't Be Shy for years. And this is a great alternative to Love Don't Be Shy. So it's orange blossom, sugar, and vanilla. So it's uber sweet. Lots of sweetness here. There's a marshmallowy fluffiness about this one. You've got to be into citruses because it's overdose of citruses here, but not only citruses, it's the citrus flowers. It's a floral, so you have not only the citrus floral effect in this, you also have the white floral effect because in the end, citrus floral notes are white flowers, but definitely do have a citrusy smell, and it's basically the citrusy floral combo of those notes with sugar and vanilla. So it's very sweet, marshmallowy, candied, and floral for sure. If you like the idea of something like Love Don't Be Shy or any of those fragrances that are like that in that genre, you must get your nose on GUIMAUVE de NOEL 31. So at number 4, we've got Milky Musk. Yes, this has been a favorite of mine. In fact, I really love its coziness. There's a bit of sweetness here. Of course, it's got musk, but I like the fig in this. And it's a nondescript fig, and most likely it's the fig milk, because when you've actually got your hands sticky with the fig milk, if you've ever picked figs off of a tree, you know what I'm talking about. There's not necessarily a strong smell. There's that earthy, bitter greenness, but it's faint compared to the actual leaves. And here it's giving it a milky effect with that kind of bitter green earthiness, but a faint version of it. So it's sandalwood, musk, and figs together. It's very, very cozy fragrance. There is some sweetness in here that might kind of border gourmandish, direction, but I wouldn't call this a gourmand. It's more woods and musk and that milkiness, the creaminess, which creates the cozy effect. And that's what I like about this one. It's definitely something you can wear at night, during the day, every day of the year. Again, it's the kind of fragrance, as I was mentioning earlier, you can wear it any time of the year. It doesn't have to be a summer or winter or autumn or, spring kind of a fragrance. It's a really great fragrance, one of the best offerings from this house. It's at number 4, and you can guess my number 3 probably because it is Comete Paradis 62. Yeah, this is a really great offering. If you like Milky Musk, you must get your nose on Comete Paradis 62. Although some of you might think it's redundant, but just, smell it out. Smell it and definitely pick out the coconut and the cacao in here. For me, I get that kind of milk chocolate effect with this one, but with a coconut milk chocolate effect against the sandalwood, and then you've got the musk and the tonka that's added in here to accentuate the fragrance and make it a little different than the actual previous fragrance, Milky Musk. But definitely a great offering from this house, and one that I enjoy and wear. Again, both of these fragrances, both Milk Musk 39 and Comete Paradis 62, are very, very cozy with an overdose of woods. Sandalwood is one of my favorite woodsy notes. If I am ever going to pick a woody fragrance, I prefer sandalwood over any other woody notes because I love the sandalwood's creaminess. I really like it. Not a fan of Santal 33 from Le Labo. This is the kind of sandalwood I really like because it's super, super cozy and I like the way it smells. And then at number 2, we've got Mile High 38. Wonderful fragrance with pineapple. It doesn't smell like Aventus, guys. It's pineapple, immortelle, tonka beans, and patchouli. What a great combination, combining this kind of autumn smell of immortelle, the dried shrubs, leafy kind of smell of immortelle with that kind of tart, sweet juiciness of the pineapple. I never thought it would smell great, but it smells really, really great here. So it doesn't smell like Aventus, as I said, because the immortelle is very, very distinct. It's got this kind of caramel, brown sugar, maple syrup-like effect in fragrances, but more like a dry, leafy way. If you have ever experienced immortelle, definitely let me know what your thoughts are on this note. But with the additional notes of tonka and patchouli here, it makes for a really great wear. It's just the contrast that I like about this particular fragrance, the earthiness of the patchouli, that kind of really sexiness. It's a great note as a base note, and it has a great lingering power, but up top the pineapple and the immortelle work really wonderfully together. Again, this is definitely one of my favorites from this house. Mile High 38 at number 2. Do check that one out. And of course, I am featuring Wake Up World Infinity Sign at the number 1 spot because I really love it. This is a kind of fragrance that I remember wearing in the early 90s. What I've been saying about this fragrance is it reminds me of Minotaur from Paloma Picasso, and I wore it in 1993 or 94, somewhere around there, over 30 years ago. Somewhere around there, yeah. But it's more like an oomped up, amped up version of that fragrance, because in its current formulation, Minotaur is weak. Just smells like sugar water. Here, you've got some substance, and you've got the actual reminder of that original fragrance. But in this fragrance, we've got lime, bergamot, green apples, tonka beans, rose, vanilla, benzoin, and ambroxan. So the ambroxan creates the ambery effect in the dry down, and also gives it the longevity that the fragrance needs. It adds the kind of woody, spicy, ambery, musky characteristic, but you've got the apples, the vanilla, the rose, benzoin, green apples, all of that stuff going into to create this really wonderful offering. A really, really great fragrance. In fact, if I should say, Michel Almairac had created the original Minotaur, so it's a given, and I'm very happy that they brought it back here for Wake Up World in the Parle Moi De Parfum collection. Anyway, it's my favorite fragrance of this house, although I should say Mile High is very close to Wake Up World. If you haven't gotten your nose on this one, do. I really enjoy it. I have it linked in the info box over at Lucky Scent. You can go over there and check it out. Let me know your thoughts on Comete Paradis 62. Have you sampled it yet? Are you a fan of Milky Musk? Do you enjoy these creamy sandalwoody fragrances? Do let me know. Put a comment down below. If you have any questions or comments, please list. Otherwise, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.